मंगलमय मंगल करण वीतराग विज्ञान नमो ताई जाते भये अरिहंतादि महान कर मंगल करी हो महा ग्रंथ करण को काज जाते मिले समाज सब पावे निज पद राज सो निज भाव सदा सुखद अपनो करो प्रकाश जो बहुविधि भव दुख निको करिए सत्तानाश। आचार्य कल्प पंडित प्रवर Sri Todarmal ji has written this Moksha Marg Prakashak ji scripture. We are on to chapter 3 and the chapter 3 consists of exposition of miseries of the mundane existence and bliss of liberation. So we are on to now analyzing the miseries that this mundane existence has suffered since time immemorial. Okay, and in this context, Pandit ji has taken up the discussion from three viewpoints. First was from karma's bondage point of view. The karma that we have already bound, and those karmas are coming into fruition, and when they are coming into fruition, what are the conditions that a soul undergoes because of the effect of those karmas. So that discussion is over. Today we are going to start the second part from embodied modification of you. Embodied modification means the body that we have acquired in this birth. Okay, so now we are into human life. So what are the problems in a human life? What are the problems in a one-sensed being? What are the problems in a two-sensed being, three-sensed being, four-sensed being, five-sensed without mind and five-sensed with mind? Okay, all these discussions are going to come up in the second point. The third would be general characteristics of misery. So after discussing from the karma's bondage point of view and from the embodied modification point of view, the discussion will now move on to the next general characteristics of miseries, where Totalmaji has tried to depict the desires of all the human beings of this universe, not only human beings, but all the living beings of this universe in a very short manner. Okay, so that also we are going to cover today. But first we will begin with the embodied modification point of view. Miseries from embodied modification point of view. We are on to page number 86. Okay. Soumya, I will make you a co-host.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, page number 86. Okay. Pratibhaji, you read. You have the textbook with you? You are on mute.
Yes, I have the book. I can read from the screen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, no problem.
Miseries from embodied modification point of view. Now the same miseries are further
Soumya, can you enlarge a bit? If it is possible. Full screen. Yeah, that's fine. So, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. The miseries of one-sensed beings. In this universe, most of the time is spent in one-sensed embodied modifications only. Therefore, assuredly, from the beginningless time, jivas are found living in the Nitya Nigod state, and getting out from there is like jumping out of a grain from the baking cauldron. Thus, after coming out from there, the jiva attains other embodied modification. Therein, Traspariyar, mobile beings have two or more senses. The jiva lives for a very short duration. Most of the time is spent in one sense embodied form. There in Itar Nigod, he lives for a very long period, and for quite some time he lives in earth, water, fire, air, and gross vegetable bodies. After getting out from Nitya Nigod, the maximum period of living in trust mobile being bodies is 2000 and a little more sagars only, and maximum period of living in one sense being is innumerable. Pudgal Parvartans only, and the period of one Pudgal Parvartan itself is such that in infinitesimal part of it, infinite sagars are found. So, mainly the period of this mundane being is passed in one sense bodies only. There, in one sense beings, the manifestation of power of knowledge and perception is found in extremely poor measure. Those one sense beings know and see only a little bit of cold and heat, etc., through matigyan, sensory knowledge, produced by the instrumentality of touch, sense, and through shratgyan, the knowledge derived from matigyan, and through non-ocular perception pertaining to touch sense. Owing to the intense rise of knowledge, obscuring and perception, obscuring karmas, the manifestation, knowledge, and perception is not found. More than this, but the desire of enjoying the object is found, due to which they are extremely miserable. And owing to the rise of darshan moha, the faith deluding karma, perverse belief is found, due to which they believe the embodied modification only to be the self. They possess no other thinking power. Further, due to rise of charitra moha, conduct deluding karma, they are found imbued with intense anger, passion, etc. For the omniscient Lord has revealed that they only possess black, blue, and gray type of three inauspicious lashas, thought complexions, and those are found only during the rise of intense passions. There, in that state of existence, the passions are more, but the manifested power is extremely poor in all respects. Therefore, they are experiencing extreme misery, but there is no go. You want me to continue? Since their knowledge is extremely poor, rather negligible, how do they indulge in passions? There is no such rule that the degree of passions should be in accordance with the knowledge. The power of knowledge is found in accordance with Shayapshama. For example, a blind and deaf person possessing less power of knowledge is found having more passion. Similarly, it is agreed to that the one sense being having very less power of knowledge can have high degree of passion. Further, the external passion gets exhibited then only when one exerts according to one's internal passion, but they are strengthless. Therefore, they cannot make any effort. Due to this, their passion is not visible. For example, some person is weak, and due to some reason, he has intense passion but cannot do anything. So his passion is not visible outwardly, but he feels very unhappy. Similarly, the one sense being are powerless due to some reason. They have passion but cannot do anything, so their passion is not visible outwardly, and they themselves become miserable. It is to be known that whatever the passion is more and the strength is less. and the anguish is more, and gradually as the passion diminishes and strength increases, then accordingly the anguish goes on lessening by lessening by and by. But the one sensed being have more passion and less strength, therefore one sensed being are extremely miserable. They alone experience their misery, and the omniscient knows it. For instance, the knowledge of hysteric patient gets lessened, and due to external physical weakness, he may also not be able to express his sufferings, but he is extremely distressed. Similarly, the knowledge possessed by one sense being is less, and due to weak external strength, they cannot express their anguish, but experience extreme anguish, and due to intense rise of antaraya karma, the desired objective do not materialize much. On account of this, also they are extremely distressed. Further, in agati karmas,
Stop,
the
stop,
rise of pap,
stop,
prakriti.
stop. So we have finished 4 Ghati karmas, okay? Agati karma we will be discussing in the second part. So you see, we are discussing the miseries of one sensed being. But when we discuss the misery, there will always be a role of karma which is into play, okay? So here, in every being, 8 karmas will be discussed, okay? So first we discuss the karma number 1 and 2, Jnanavaran and Dashnavaran together. Okay. So first they discuss the one sense being. So in one sensed being, there are five bodies, right? What are they? 1 minute. Earth, water, fire, air, and vegetables. Now these vegetables, Vanaspati Kai, has got 2 parts. One is gross and one is very subtle. So subtle is called Sadharan Vanaspati and that is called Nigod. The other name for Sadharan Vanaspati is Nigod. Okay. In English, we call it as the lowest form of living being. Okay. Nigod, we don't have any specific word for that. You can check the glossaries, in the end of the book. There are glossaries given, and any Hindi word that you are not able to make out, they have given the English meaning also. I'm just looking what they have written for Nigod. The lowest form of life. Okay. Undeveloped, one-sensed being. Example, moss, fungus, roots, etc. Okay. So that is Nigod. That is, I have seen in page number 512, Nigod. You can refer the glossary anytime if you are not able to understand any word's meaning. Okay. So now this Nigod, so this vegetables or a Vanaspati Kai, they have got 2 divisions. One is gross and one is subtle. So subtle one is the lowest form of life called Nigod. And in Nigod, again, there are 2 types of Nigod. Nitya Nigod and Itar Nigod. So Nitya Nigod is where they are going to be there permanently. They are not going to come out. There are many abhavya jeev who will never come out of Nigod. And that also are in infinite qualities. Okay. And then there are some jeev who will come out. Okay. So they will come out, and when they come out and they will get a chance to go to the 2 sense being, after traveling the whole 1 sense journey, they will be promoted to 2 sensed and upwards. Okay. Now that duration is only 2000 sagar. Sagar is a unit of time which is again thousands of years, very long period. But that also 2000 sagar for 2 sense to 5 sensed with mind. The whole journey will be 2000 sagars, little bit more. Okay. And living in the one sensed being, the time period is innumerable Pudgal Paravartan. Okay. And innumerable Pudgal Paravartan. And one Putkal Paravartan is such that in infinitesimal part of it, infinite sagars are found. Infinite sagar in one Putkal Paravartan, okay? And we are we are getting into 2 cents to 5 cents being for only 2000 sagars. So if we put it in percentage terms, in 1 cents being, what is the time period that we live? What would be the percentage? Out of 100, how much you will give, Hemali?
99 years and 11 months.
Yes, 99% and again 11 months we can say, right? So if 100 years is the total time span we are considering, then 99 years and 11 months will be in 1 cent. And then in 1 month, we are going to 2 cents, 3 cents, and then the whole human life. And that also, I think 24 human lives we got. And out of that 24, 8 female, 8 male, and 8 neuter, right? So you see how the rarity, and even if you get a human life, what is the guarantee that you will have birth in a Jain family? And if you are having a birth in Jain family, then again there are very little chances that you will have access to true God, true scriptures, and true monks. And even if you have access to that, there has to be an interest in you to read those, to understand those. Okay, you need to have that kind of intellect, you need to have that kind of comfort zone for you to study. Now you are hand to mouth, right? You are going out for work 7 o'clock in the morning and coming at 9 o'clock in the evening. Where is the time to study? And even if you have the time to study, if you have the willingness to study, but still there should be means, right? And means are also there, then again it is so difficult to continue. How many students join classes and how many are able to continue? And so all these shows that it's a very rarity of rare that we have got this opportunity. Okay. So 1 cent being maximum time, and then 2 cents to 5 cents, only 2000 sagar, little bit more than that. Okay. Now, when you get this life, what are the karmas that are playing roles? Okay. So now we are considering only 1 sensed being. Okay. So 1 sensed being, it will be Nigod also, and the other 1 sensed being like earth, water, fire, air, and gross vegetables. Okay. Now, first one, there in 1 sense being the manifestation of power of knowledge and perception. So karma number 1 and 2 are taken here. You can write it down in your textbook, this paragraph. There in 1 sense being the manifestation of power of knowledge and perception is found in extremely poor measure. Extremely poor measure, because it has got only touch sense. 1 sensed being has got only touch sense. Okay. So those 1 sensed being know and see only a little bit of cold and heat, because this is something you experience by your touch sense, right? So cold and heat, etc. All the 8 modifications of touch sense. Through Mati Gyan, produced by the instrumentality of touch sense, and through Shad Gyan, the knowledge derived through Mati Gyan. Okay. And through non-ocular perception. So perception has also 2 divisions, non-ocular perception and ocular perception. Ocular perceptions are with those only who have got eyes, but this is a 1 sensed being, so it has got only touch sense, so it has got only non-ocular perception, okay, pertaining to touch sense. Owing to the intense rise of knowledge obscuring and perception obscuring karmas, the manifestation of knowledge and perception is not found more than this, but the desire of enjoying objects is found, due to which they are extremely miserable. Okay. So strength is very limited and desire is very much. So all the time they are miserable. Okay. So that was from karma number 1 and 2. Number 3, monia. Monia has got 2 division. Faith deluding, darshan monia, and conduct deluding, charitra monia. So now the first one, darshan monia, is being considered, the second last line of the page. And owing to the rise of darshan mo, 3a, you can mark it as 3a, and when we discuss charitra monia, then 3b. Owing to the rise of darshan monia, perverse belief is found, wrong belief is found, due to which they believe the embodied modification only to be the self. Okay? They possess no other thinking power. So whatever body they have acquired, they believe themselves to be that. Okay? So this is the effect of faith deluding karma. Now what is the effect of charitramo, conduct deluding karma? Further, due to rise of conduct deluding karma, they are found imbued with intense anger, passion, etc. Now, anger, passion, etc. means 25 kinds of passions. Okay? Infinite, intense. Okay? For the omniscient Lord has revealed that they only possesses black, blue, and gray type of three inauspicious lasias. Now, what is this lasia? Thought complexion, in bracket it is given. But the good word would be for lasia is soul soiling tints. Soul soiling tints. Soiling means to make dirty. Okay? And tints means shade or color. Okay? Tints means shade or color. Soul soiling tints. So what is this lasia? Lasia is the parameter to measure the degree of intensity of toxic emotion. What is lasia? Lasia is the parameter to measure the degree of intensity of toxic emotion or passions. Okay. So, we have discussed 4 levels of passion, you know. Passions binding infinite worldly existence, anantanubandhi kashai. Then, apratyakhana varna kashai. Passions, hindering passions, stopping partial, what is that? 1 minute. Partial wo, 1 minute. Yes, I have shared in the group.
Pratyakyan, Apratyakan, Sanjwalan, and
English is partial woe preventing passion. Okay. Then complete woe preventing passion. Then perfect conduct disturbing passion. Okay. So there are 4 quadruplet of passions. Anantanubandhi, Apratyakan, Pratyakan, Sanjwalan. Okay. So this lasias, what is this lasia? Lasia is the parameter to measure the degree of intensity of toxic emotions, passions. That is passions. Okay. Now, so whether you are now under intense passion or mild passion, that could be known through lasia. And lasia has a direct connection with mind, speech, and body. Okay. So our passions are not visible, but the activity of mind, speech, and body are visible. Through that, we can make out whether a person is having inauspicious lasias or auspicious lasias. Okay. So you must have seen a picture where a tree has been sown and there are 6 persons who want to eat the fruit of that tree, you know. So the person having the intense of passions, he says that I will cut off the whole tree and eat the fruit. The second one says, I will just cut off the branch and eat the fruit. The third one will say that I will just cut off that particular subdivision of that branch and I eat the fruit. The fourth one says that I will just pluck up the leaves and fruit. The fifth one says I will just pluck up the fruit. And the sixth one said I will not pluck up even the fruit. I will pick up the fruits that have fallen from the tree. So these are the different levels of passions that has been depicted, starting from intense to then going further. We have 3 degrees of comparison, right? Positive, comparative, and superlative, right? So in that manner, it is like that. So So these lesia are a parameter to measure this intense and mild passions. Then what is this 4 levels of passions? So those are the parameters to measure, like the first level of passion. Okay, it goes up when you manifest right belief. So that's why it is named as right belief preventing passion. Okay, its name is right belief preventing passion. And the alternate name is passion causing infinite worldly existence, anantanubandhi. So if you translate that meaning, it will be passions causing infinite worldly existence. Then the second level is partial woe preventing passion. And that is why Ramchandra ji, although he was a Saik Samyak Drashti, but he carried the dead body of his brother Lakshman for 6 months. So that doesn't mean that he has become a false believer. No, he's still a right believer. But the passions are so intense. So that is defined by the lesias. Okay. So that parameter of measuring the intense or mild passion is lesia. And the parameter of measuring the 4 quadruplet of passions are whether he's having right belief or not. If he's not having right belief, that means all the 4 levels are existing. If he's having right belief, then the first level has gone. If he is getting into 5th stage of spiritual development, then the second level has gone. If he's in the 6th, 7th stage, then the third level has gone. And if he's in the 12th stage, then the 4th level has also gone. Okay. So these are measured this way. So it is the lesia. Okay. So these lesias are of 6 types, 3 inauspicious and 3 auspicious. We'll be reading about these lesias in the 10th sem, but we can't wait so long. So I'll be soon, I think in the Jeev platform, there is this lesias chapter, soul soiling tints. I will send you the link. You can visit that chapter and understand about lesia. Okay, because passions are not seen and mind, speech and body activities are seen. Now supposing if you are going tomorrow to a Ganpati temple, right, that means your false belief is existing. So how do I know your false belief or your right belief? Just because your activity, I have seen that you are going to Ganpati temple. So I could say that you are having a false belief. So passions cannot be seen, but this mind, speech and body activity could be seen. So that is the how we measure the amount of passions, the level of passions that you are having, whether it is intense or mild, right? So understanding the lesia helps us in identifying the stages of the life of a different persons. That is the only thing that we get out of lesias. So I'll be sharing from the Jeev platform, or anybody could find out and share in the group. I think they have the link facility or not, I don't know, but let me check it out. Okay.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you, just the way how the spiritual ladder is there, sometimes we fall from the 4th stage to the 1st stage. So in Lesha also, is it like not volatile, but does it,
Yeah,
is it
it
ever
is also
changing?
volatile. It is also volatile. Intense, mild, it keeps on changing, It keeps on changing. It's never permanently one type of lesias. So it keeps on changing. Krishna, Nil, Kapot, these are the 3 inauspicious lesia. And then Pat, Pidma, Shukla. So all these are colors. Okay. So that why here it is written thought complexions, or sometimes it is also written coloration. But the exact word would be soul soiling tints. I'll share that article and mostly you will be able to understand. Okay. There in that state of experience, so this one sensed being have 3 inauspicious lesias. So their level of passions are always high, there in the state of exam the passions are more, but the manifestation power, expressing the passions is very little. So we are not able to judge. A tree is standing there tall and is quite calm. But from the scriptures, we know that he is manifesting now infinite passions, right? From the outside, it looks that the tree is so calm, right? But they are not calm. It is that they are not able to express their passions. So they are having infinite passions because their strength is weak. They are only one-sensed being. As your strength increases, the passions decreases. Okay. So that is what is given in the next question. So therefore, they are experiencing extreme misery, but there is no go. There is no go means there is no solution. They have only one-way traffic. They have to experience the fruition of karma. They cannot do any efforts in neutralizing those karmas. Okay. One sense to five-sensed being who don't have mind, they cannot put any kind of efforts. They cannot put any kind of efforts. Okay. So they have only one-way traffic. They have to just, according to the rise of karmas, they have to suffer. Okay. There is no remedy. Now my question, then how do the one sensed being come to two sensed and two sensed to come to three sensed? There is no effort. Right? So how do they get promoted from one sense to two sense to three sense to four sense? Any guesses? Soumya, you must be knowing.
So because every 48,
Right. Go ahead.
so because there is a change in every 48 minutes there's a change in what is it called? Please help.
In from auspicious to inauspicious.
Auspicious to inauspicious and from
Inauspicious
inauspicious to
to auspicious,
auspicious.
right? So
And that means
yeah, and because of that, they are promoted from one sense to two sense, then two sense to three sense, and so on. Okay, so that is the thing that they are playing. So in terms of effort, they cannot do any effort. Even the five-sensed being who doesn't have mind, those exist only in the subhuman state, right? Like there are some animals who have got mind also and they are without mind also, like frog, snake, then tota, what we call? Cuckoo. Parrot. Okay. So they are Sangi also and without mind also. Okay. So these are some of the animals like that. But those without mind are subhuman only. Okay. Animal kingdom only. Not even plant. Because plant are one sensed. So only animal kingdom. Okay. So then the question, since their knowledge is extremely poor, how do they indulge in passion? Okay. So their knowledge is very poor because of the Sharpsham is also very less. Opening is very less. So they have got very little knowledge. In fact, the one-sensed being of Nigod, they are having knowledge to the extent of the infinite part of one letter. अक्षर के अनंतवे भाग जितना ज्ञान है. They've got that much little knowledge, but it is not absolutely zero, because if it becomes absolutely zero, then they become non-living, But that much is always available knowledge, and that is where the active consciousness that we are having right now, same active consciousness they are also having, but it's very, very minor. Okay, so there is no rule. The degree of passion should be in accordance with the knowledge. Yeah. Anybody asking any question?
Yeah, yes, sir. I was asking the answer that you gave about how Nigodhya ji come to 2 and 3, 4 senses
Yes.
because they cannot do any effort.
So you got
Sir,
that?
yeah, so Kaktali and Nyay, sir, because of luck only.
Coincidence.
Coincidence only. Okay. Yeah.
No, not coincidence. That was because Himali replied, no, every 48 minutes, auspicious changes to inauspicious, and inauspicious to changes auspicious. So the one sense being, most of the time it is inauspicious. But still, every 48 minutes, it has to change into auspicious. And while it changes into auspicious, there are chances that they might come out. Chances, It is not compulsorily that they will come out, because there are many one sensed being Nitya Nigod, they will never come out. Abhavya Jeev, they will never come out, right? So, but even if they come out, that is because of their auspicious sentiments only, and that comes every 48 minutes. It may happen that it's come for 1 second and then again they are into inauspicious. Then again after 148, after 40 they come out for 1-2 seconds and then again. So majority time they are into inauspicious, but sometime they are into auspicious, and that is the time they have a chance to come to the 2 sensed, 3 sensed, 4 sensed, and the life there are very, very long period of life. Got the answer, Somya?
So this
Yes, sir.
auspicious to inauspicious, does it happen in the five sense being also?
Yes.
In our thought
Yes.
processes also?
Yes, that is a rule, that every 48 minutes, so 48 minutes is maximum. It could be less than 48 minutes also, but it has to change. Nobody can remain in inauspicious for more than 48 minutes. Nobody can remain in auspicious more than 48 minutes. And nobody can remain in pure sentiments more than 48 minutes. Because 48 minutes, if they stay in pure sentiments, they manifest omniscience knowledge. Right? So these are the limitations according to Karna and Yoga. Okay. Yeah. So now the question. The power of knowledge is found in accordance with the subsumption. So very less subsumption, so very less power of knowledge. For example, a blind and deaf person possessing less power of knowledge, because he cannot see and he cannot listen also, is found having more passion, but they can be expressing very high level of anger, although they are blind and deaf, but expressing passion is something we can see there. Similarly, it is agreed to that the one sense beings have very less power of knowledge, can have a high degree of passion. Okay, they can have and so we were talking about the plants. They are so stationary and calm, but they are having high degree of passions. Only thing is that they are not able to express it. Yeah, Amitaji.
So, sir, so the Siddha Bhagwans every 48 minutes, their bhav
No.
is also.
So there the karma cycle has got over, no?
Oh, okay, I see.
So long the karmas are there, so these things happen.
Okay, I see.
When you manifest pure manifestation for 48 minutes and more, you become omniscience knowledge. And once you become omniscience, you get liberated sooner or later. So that is the end of the mundane existence. Once you manifest omniscience, then you don't fall back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So further, the
Sir,
external passion.
Sir, can I ask a question?
Yes.
In our regular life, we may not deceive anybody. We may not say lies. We may
Right.
not collect items of comfort, but and other things as well.
Right.
Now, anger, passion. How can we control that?
So the controlling thing will start from when you take shelter into your soul, pure soul. That is the time, the first level of anger, anantanubandhi krodh, that will go away.
Yes, sir. That's
Right?
how to control it.
You can do many kriyas of dharma. You can do many upas. Still, you cannot get rid of anger. Not a what I say, iota of anger can go off. Only it will start going off when you manifest right belief. So everywhere when we discuss the karmas, what is the solution? So everywhere it was discussed right belief,
Right.
knowledge, and right passion. Right? So if you want to renounce any of the sins, you have to get into the soul. If you want to get rid of any kind of passions, any level of passions, right, you have to take shelter in your soul. Okay. Otherwise, you can vary the degree, but from intense it becomes mild. So while you are studying the scriptures, you are going to temple and you are doing all these activities as you said. So the passions become mild, but it doesn't go away. It's just a temporary phenomena. But when you experience yourself, when you manifest right belief, the first quadruplet, which is most the intense, which was binding intense karmas, that has gone. That level of anger has gone. That level of pride has gone. That level of deceit has gone. That level of uh, greed has gone. So other levels are there. So other levels of anger are there. So it does not mean that the moment you manifest right belief, all the anger goes away. No, the first level has gone. The intense has gone. Right. Now the others are there, but those are, the weightage is very less. Maximum weightage was in the Anantanubandhi Kashai, 99% you can say. In fact, in one of the scriptures, Samai Sarji, Gatha number, verse number 320, there is a Bhavat written by Pandit Jaichandji Chabda. There he writes that once the intense bondage causing passion has gone, Anantanubandhi Kashai has gone, the remaining passions are compared to a drop in an ocean. Now see, drop in an ocean is very little, nothing. So the maximum effort that you have to put in is to manifest the right belief, right? And that is what we are doing right now. So be happy, be all the time enjoying every moment of life. This is very precious human life that we have got. There is no time to, express anger, deceit, greed, nothing. Just try to understand the scriptures, manifest on it, and then arrive at a decision. That is what you can do in terms of putting efforts. Okay.
Right.
So, for example, some person is weak and due to some reason he has intense passion but cannot do anything. So his passion is not visible outwardly, but he feels very unhappy. We cannot express, sometimes some like in a society also there are always person who are not good, so they are doing wrong things. And we don't want to happen those things, but we can't do anything. So what we do, we become unhappy in our mind, right? So that is what we cannot, because of our low strength, we cannot express it, but he feels very unhappy. Similarly, the one sense being are powerless. Due to some reason, they have passion, but cannot do anything. So their passion is not visible outwardly, and they themselves becomes miserable. Okay. Now the important paragraph. It is to be known that wherever the passion is more and the strength is less, the anguish, the pain, okay, the anguish is more. And gradually as the passion diminishes and strength increases, then accordingly the anguish goes on lessening by and by. But the one sense being have more passion and less strength, therefore one sense beings are extremely miserable. Now this line you mark it down. It's very, very important. They alone experience their misery and the omniscience knows it. What does this mean? That their miseries are of such great level that they only experience their misery and the omniscience knows it. We cannot know also. The level of miseries that they are undergoing through, we are not able to even know it. Forget about expressing it. We are not able to know it. That is the intense kind of miseries that they are experiencing all the time in the one sense being. Okay. So one line explains the whole miseries of one sense being. They alone experience their misery and the omniscient knows it, because omniscience knows everything. For instance, the knowledge of a hysteric patient gets lessened, and due to external physical weakness, he may also not be able to express his suffering, but he is extremely distressed. Similarly, the knowledge possessed by one sensed being is less, and due to weak external strength, they cannot express their anguish, but experience extreme anguish. Okay, so this is now the third one has completed. The third karma, conduct deluding karma, second part, right? Now the fourth point, that is antarai karma. Okay, obscuring karma. Okay, and due to intense rise of antarai karma, the desired objectives do not materialize much. On account of these, they are extremely distressed. So what are the 5 factors of an antarai karma? Anybody? Five factors of antarai karma where they hinder donation, dan, labh, gain, bhog, consumable, upbhog, repeated consumable, and virya, energy. Okay, so these are the 5 factors. So you want to donate, but there is a rise of antarai karma, you are not able to donate. So this is the antarai karma playing. So similarly, they have got intense rise of antarai karma. So their desired objective do not materialize much. On account of this, they are extremely distressed. 5a. Now the next coming agati karmas. Okay. So agati karma, first is vedniya karma, feeling producing karma. So we have 2 divisions, 5a, 5b, pleasant feeling producing karma and unpleasant feeling producing karma. Okay, so 5a and 5b. So next 2 paragraph is this. Then the 6th one is ayu karma. Then 7th one, that is karma determining lifespan. Okay. Then the 7th would be name karma. That is nam karma. Okay. Physic forming karma. In English, we call it as physic forming karma. And the 8th one is gotra karma, status determining karma. Okay. So all these discussions are coming up. Who will read now? Next. Soumya, you read. Or so? Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yeah.
Further in Aghati karmas, the rise of Pap Prakriti, vice karmas, is predominant. There, on getting the rise of Asata Vedniye, they feel extremely miserable owing to its instrumentality. The vegetables are broken by wind pressure, get dried by cold and heat, are also dried in want of water, are burnt by fire, someone pierces them, cuts them, crushes them, eats them, breaks them. Such various conditions are found. Similarly, the one sense earth beings, etc., undergo all such possible conditions. Because of persistence of all those conditions, they feel extremely distressed. As pain is caused in human body on facing above stated conditions, similarly, one sensed beings also experience pain. Since knowledge of these conditions is caused through touch sense and they too do possesses touch sense, knowing them through it, they feel extremely distressed, being overpowered by delusion. But they do not have strength of feeling, fighting, or of crying. That is why the ignorant people do not know their miseries, and by chance a little rise of sata may be found, but it is not strong. Further, owing to Ayu karma, in these one sensed beings, those who are aparyaptas, the duration of their life paryay is only 1/18th part of the time of one respiration, and that of paryaptas, the life duration is found varying from one antarmurat to many years. There being very short span of age karma, the birth and death continue incessantly, and owing to this, they always remain miserable. In Nam karma, the rise of Triyanch Gati, etc., inauspicious prakritis only is particularly found. Even if some weak auspicious prakriti may come to rise, it is not strong. Therefore, in their existence also, they remain miserable due to the influence of mohu. In Gotra karma, only the rise of low status determining karma exists. Therefore, They do not get respectability, and as such, they are unhappy only. In this way, the one-sensed beings are extremely miserable. As in this world, the stone having some base remains resting for a long time. But in the baseless space sky, it rarely remains for a very short duration. Similarly, Jiva remains in the state of one sensed being for a very long duration. But in other forms of existence, he sometimes remains for a very short duration. Therefore, the Jiva is extremely miserable in this world.
So you see, this 4 agati karma, one thing you must remember that this agati karma has got divisions of auspicious and inauspicious. Okay, punya and pap. The ghati karmas don't have that division of auspicious and inauspicious. They are all inauspicious in nature. Okay, but in agati karma, there is a division of punya and pap. So when you are doing any auspicious activities, it is the agati karma that you are binding. But in terms of ghati karma, it is causing them, it is like destroying the attributes of the soul. Okay, so in ghati karma, it is always pap bandh. There is no punya. But in agati karma, there is a pap and punya both being done depending on the sentiments that you manifest. Okay. So in Vedniya karma, when there is a rise of asata Vedniya, you are having all kinds of sufferings. Okay. So the vegetables are broken by wind pressure, get dried by cold and heat, are also dried in want of water, are burnt by fire. Someone pierces them, cuts them, crushes them, eats them, breaks them. Such various conditions are found. Similarly, the one-sensed earth beings undergo all such possible conditions. Because of persistence of all those conditions, they feel extremely distressed. Okay? So while you are walking in the garden, you just pluck out some fruit, some, not fruit, flower, some leaves. They are all one-sensed being. That's why when we do puja, we never use these flowers, live flowers, right? So the reason is all religious only, right? We don't want to do any kind of violence.
So,
Uh,
so why is it saying similarly the one-sensed earth beings, etc.? These one-sensed beings are everywhere, is it?
yes. So earth is a one-sensed being, then fire is a one-sensed being, water is a one-sensed being, air also, in the air also there are one-sensed being, Vayukai Jeev, you know, and of course there is Vanaspati.
But they are not there in heaven and all those places, right?
No,
One-sensed
they
beings.
could be, see, Nigodhya is everywhere. Hmm. So they are all coming under the bracket of subhuman state, Tiryanj Gati. So in Tiryanj Gati, it is not only animals, but animals and plant kingdom, both. So one sensed being are all these. Okay. So when you are doing a construction, you are doing some violence, you know. So there, if you think on those lines, there are various places where we are causing violence. Some of them are avoidable and some are unavoidable, right? So like you have to cook the food. So when you lit up the stove, you are causing violence to fire, right? So all these are there. We are using water, although we are filtering the water, but still there is a violence over there. So we use minimum of water. We don't open the shower. We don't use the geyser, because in geyser the unfiltered water goes directly to that, you know. So we use a heating rod, you know. So first we filter the water, store it in a bucket, and then put the heating rod in it and get the water heat up to the level what we want, and then we use it. So we are practicing non-violence in all aspects of our life. But again, still there are something that I said we are also not able to avoid. Okay. And that much bondage is also happening. So we can at least minimize it, right? Like that. Yes. Any other questions? So we discussed Asata Vedniya, right? And then when there is a rise of Sata Vedniya, we get all the good associations in life. But as a one-sensed being, he has very little to enjoy those things because the rise of Sata Vednya is very less. Okay. The majority time it is only Asata Vednya. Okay. And Sata Vednya is rarely found. You know, when a soul gets liberated, all the living beings of the universe gets abhaidan for a moment. So for a moment, they are getting Sata Vednya Uday. It's just like blinking of a lightning, you know. That much time they are experiencing Sata. Otherwise, all the time they are Asata Vednya. The next is Ayu Karma. So in one perspiration, in one respiration, they are getting birth and death 18 times. One respiration. Okay. And then there are Paryapta Jeev and Aparyapta Jeev. Okay. So for further owing to Ayu Karma in this one sense being those who are Aparyapts. You know what is Aparyapts? It's written in the footnote. Those who have not attained completion of the molecules forming the body and the development of the body, sense organs, respiratory organ, they are called Aparyapt. So there are 6 parameters. First is food. Okay. Food, then what is there? Then there is respiration, then there is 5 senses. Okay. Food, 5 senses, then respiration. I don't remember. I'll share the scripture. The last one is mind. Okay. So before it starts, the development starts all at once, but it gradually develops. So the mind is the last thing that develops. Even in a human being, when a soul comes to the in the womb of a mother, you know, so initially, you know, first 4 weeks, some because of the food that mother takes in, that body starts forming. You know, it keeps on growing. So in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, the limbs come, and then gradually it comes. So by the time the 9th month, it's ready to come out. So this is called paryapti. So many times, in one sense being, these are aparyapts. Okay. So they live just 1/18th part of the time of one perspiration. And that of paryapts, those who have attained completion of the body sense organs, the life duration is found varying from 1 antarmurat to many years. Okay. To many years. There being very short span of age karma, the birth and death continue incessantly, and owing to this, they always remain miserable. Then Nam karma. In name karma, the rise of Tiryanj Gati, etc. inauspicious prakriti is only particularly found. Inauspicious, majority are inauspicious prakriti is found. Even if some weak auspicious prakriti may come to rise, it is not strong. Therefore, in their existence also, they remain miserable due to the influence of moh. So all these ghati karmas becomes deadly along with moh. Okay. Without moh, only ghati karma is not able to affect the soul at all. Okay. The classic example is Aryant Bhagwan. They still have aghati karma left. 4 aghati karma is still there. But monia has been destroyed. So they are experiencing eternal bliss, infinite eternal bliss all the time. Okay. So along with moh, the ghatiya karma becomes powerful, and they are able to harm. Without monia karma, they are 0. The last one in Gotra karma, only the rise of low status determining karma exists. Therefore, they do not get respectability, and as such, they are unhappy only. In this way, very good example. The one sense beings are extremely miserable. As in this world, the stone having some base. Okay. So if the stone is placed on a base, it's remain resting for a long time. But if you put it in the air, the moment you drop it, it falls immediately below. So the moment you drop it, the split of a second, it remains in the air, and that is the whole life of 2-sensed to 5-sensed being. Okay. So in this world, the stone having some base remains resting for a long time, but in the baseless space, sky, it rarely remains for a very short duration. Similarly, Jeev remains in the state of one sense being for a very long duration. But in other forms of existence, he sometimes remains for a very short duration. Therefore, the Jiva is extremely miserable in this world. Now, 2-sensed, 3-sensed, 4-sensed. These are called Vikaltray. Okay. So Vikaltray, all three has been taken together, and irrational 5-sensed being, the 5-sensed being who doesn't have mind, which only exists in the subhuman state. So all these 4 living beings have been described together. Okay. Most of their miseries are like 1-sensed being, but because of the extra senses that they have got, to that extent, the miseries are little bit less than the 1-sensed being. But nevertheless, they are also miserable. Okay. How we could see. So, Madhuji, you would like to read?
Sir, I'm outside, so
Okay.
there may be noise in between.
No problem. Then you leave it.
Thank you.
Malti ji,
Yes.
you read.
Miseries of mobile, incomplete sense souls, and irrational 5-sense beings. In the 2-sense, 3-sense, 4-sense, and irrational 5-sense forms of bodies also, this Jeev experiences miseries similar to those experienced by 1-sense beings. The only difference is that here, the Jeev obtains successfully increased knowledge, perception, and energy related to each sense, and attains the power of speaking and moving. Here also the Jeev, who are aparyapts, and even those who are paryaptas, possessing weak strength and are smaller beings, all these do not possess much power. And there are many paryapt Jeevs also possessing a lot of strength and are big in size. They possess some power, therefore, they try for getting the objects of senses and try for getting rid of miseries. Out of anger, etc., they indulge in the acts of biting, killing, fighting, deceiving, hoarding grains, etc., fleeing, etc. They wriggle and cry out of pain, so their sorrow is somewhat visible also. Thus, the worms, ants, etc., Jivas are seen extremely miserable due to cold, heat, severing, piercing, hunger, thirst, etc. One should think over their miseries which are clearly seen. What more to describe here? Thus, the 2-sense beings, etc., also should be known as extremely miserable.
So, even 5-sensed being, they also, because they don't have any mind, so they don't have any effort to do. So there also it's one-way traffic. There is a rise of karma, and because of this rise of karma, certain conditions will happen, and that they have to undergo those sufferings. There is no respite. Okay. So no effort, no respite, only one way. But of course, in between, they also have auspicious sentiments coming up automatically by default. And with that, they keep on getting promoted. That's all. Otherwise, so how do you get into a 5-sensed being with mind? Okay. So that is again also automatic, because till without mind, there is no effort. So you have got this without any effort, 5-sensed with mind, without any effort. And there are beings in all the 4 states of existence having 5 sense and mind. Okay. In Tiryansh Gati, there are animals who have got mind, like elephant, then all the big animals, elephant, this ox, cow, dog, cat, these are all 5-sensed. Okay. And they have mind also. So they are able to manifest right belief. So we have seen lion developing right belief, Mahavir Bhagwan's previous birth. Then we have Parasnath, who was in elephant's life when he manifested right belief. Then we have Jatayu. Then we have the big fish, so big, what it is called, Raghav Mach, Swayambhu Raman Samudra. Okay, they are in that ocean, big creatures, and they are 5-sensed being with mind, and they are into 5th stage. Because When you are in subhuman state, you don't have any possession. You don't have any bank balance. You don't have to provide for tomorrow's, nothing. Okay. So there, once they manifest right belief, they are able to focus more because their possession is less, and they immediately develop the fifth stage. They come into the fifth stage. They are able to destroy the passions, but they cannot go beyond the fifth stage, but they still very well attain fifth stage. Okay. So even hell, fourth stage could be manifested. So there are right believer there also, but they cannot go to the fifth stage. And celestial beings are also in the fourth stage. They cannot go beyond fourth, and they can also manifest right belief. So right belief could be achieved in all the four states of existence. Okay. But as I said, key with mind, people with mind. So one sensed being cannot manifest right belief. Only with mind they can manifest right belief. Now, what are the miseries of those rational five sensed being who has got mind? Okay. So now we will be discussing of all the four state of existence, what are the kind of miseries that they undergo, being rational, being able to put in effort, but still they suffer, and how do they suffer? That is being described in the next topic. Rekha, you read. Rekha is not able to unmute herself. Roshni, you read.
Yes. Miseries of rational five sense beings. Miseries of infernal state of existence. In the rational five sense beings, the inhabitants of hell are extremely distressed in all respects. They have somewhat power of knowledge, but the desire of the objects of senses is too much, and they do not even get a little bit material of favorite objects. Therefore, the possession of that power of knowledge is also a cause of great misery. Extreme severity of anger, etc., passion is found in them, because they possess black lasias, inauspicious thought coloration only. The act of causing misery to one another is found there continuously due to wrath and pride. If they establish friendship with one another, then the sufferings may end. Moreover, by causing pain to others, none of their purpose is served, but vehemency of anger and pride is found more in them, because of which they have tendency of causing only misery to one another by means of vikriya or transformation. They make limbs in the body for causing pains to others, and also make weapons by which they cause affliction to others, and others cause affliction to them. The passion never subsides, and the vehemency of deceit and greed passion is also more in them, but no agreeable material is available there. Hence, they cannot exhibit the act of these passions. Because of those passions, they are extremely afflicted internally, and sometimes, by chance, some object of those passions is also materialized due to some reason. Can
Continue.
you scroll?
Yeah. Soumya? Yes. Thank you.
Further indulgence in laughter and liking.
Quasi passions.
Okay. Quasi passions is also there, but in the absence of external causes, their action is not visible. Rarely, on account of some reason, those become visible, and the external causes of liking, sorrow, fear, disgust, quasi passions are found. Therefore, those passions are intensely manifested, and in sex passions, only neuter sex passion is found in them. So the sex desire is great, and the facility of copulation with women and men is not available there. Therefore, they are extremely anguished. In this way, they are extremely miserable because of passions. Moreover, in Vedanya karma, there exists only the rise of asata, or unpleasant feeling producing karma, due to which there exists the causes of various types of agonies. In the body, different diseases like leprosy, cough, asthma, etc., are found together, and hunger, thirst are so intense that they want to eat and drink everything, and the food available is only of clay in that region. And that clay also
Next page. Soumya.
Yes, sir, this is next page is of such
This
kind.
page. Right, right.
is of such kind that if it comes here on this earth, then due to its bad smell, the human beings of many miles will die. And cold and heat is such that if there be a round of iron having a diameter of 1 lakh yojan, it will also turn into ashes. At some places there is cold, and at some places there is heat. Further, the land there is full of thorns sharper than even the weapons. The forests in that land are full of leaves like the edge of weapons. The river is full of such kind of water that on getting its touch, the body will split into pieces. The wind is so strong that due to it, the body gets scorched, and the infernal things cause agony in different ways to one another, namely, crush in the oil press, cut into pieces, parch in the big pots, beat with whips, touch red hot iron bars, etc. And thus, in many ways, they torment one another. The Ashur Kumar Devas go up to third infernal region. They themselves cause pain and make them fight with each other. In spite of such agony, severance of body is not possible. Even on getting cut into pieces, it rejoins just like mercury. Such extreme agony is there. Further, no object of sata is there. By chance, in some measure, to someone as per his belief, from some point of view, the rise of sata is found, but it is not powerful. Their ayu is very long. The minimum lifetime is 10,000 years, and the maximum lifetime is 33 sagars. For such a long period, one has to bear such kinds of sufferings. The rise of only all inauspicious or pap prakritis of Nam karma is found there. Not a single auspicious pap prakriti of Nam karma,
Punya,
not a
Punya
oh,
Prakriti.
not a single auspicious punya prakriti is found in the operative state. Due to those pap prakritis, they are extremely distressed. And in Gotra karma, there exists the rise of Neech Gotra, or low status karma. Only due to that they do not get respectability. So also they are extremely miserable only. In this way, one should know that in the infernal state of existence, there are extreme agonies only.
So in Chaidala, we had got a detailed study of this, and I had shared you the film on Narak Darshan. Everyone has seen? Again, if somebody could share it again from the group, it will be nice. So those who have missed out last time, they can again see that movie and you can visualize all that is written over here they are experiencing. And while discussing the miseries of this infernal state of existence, all the 8 karmas have been mentioned here. First one is 1 and 2, and then the passions description is so long, then Vedniya karma and all. So everything is given here as per 8 karmas only. Only thing is that their Antarai karma is here missing. Okay. So Antarai karma is missing, but we know that there is a Antarai karma also there. So whatever they desire, they don't get it. Okay. So just like the previous description of Antarai karma, you can put it here also. Okay. So Antarai karma is not written. It has been missed by Todarmalji itself. So that we could very well add it. Otherwise, it is the same as the previous one. So the job of the Antarai karma is to stop you from what you want to do. Okay. In terms of donation, in terms of gain, in terms of consumptions, in terms of repeated consumptions, then in terms of energy. Okay. All these are always there. So nothing too more to explain. You just read it out and understand. And if you are finding any questions, you can always ask me personally. Or if you have the questions right now, you can ask right now also. Then we move on to the next. the Tiryanch Gati, animals, not only animals. Yeah, because why it is only animals, because we are discussing five sensed being with mind. So the plants cannot have five sensed and also mind. So we are not considering plant. So here Tiryanch Gati only includes animals. Okay. Just now I talked about lion, elephant, Jatayu and big fish and all. Whale, all these are five sensed beings, with mind. Okay. So who will read this Tiryanch Gati? Amita ji, you read. Unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Miseries of Tiryanch Gati, animals. In Tiryanch Gati, many jivas are labdhi aparyaptas, undeveloped beings. Their ayu lifetime is only 1/18th part of the time of one respiration. And many paryaptas, developed beings, are of very small size, but their power is not visibly seen, manifested. Their miseries are to be known like that of one sense beings, knowledge, etc., are somewhat more, and many big-sized paryaptas beings are spontaneously born beings. Many are of uterus birth. In them, knowledge, etc., are found manifested, but they are found agitated by the desires of objects. Among them, many jivas do not get favorite objects. Someone rarely gets a few objects. Owing to perverse faith, they are assuredly having fallacy in tattvas, and passion is chiefly found of intense type. Due to anger and pride, they fight, eat, and cause pain to one another. Due to deceit and greed, they indulge in deceitful acts and desired objects. They indulge in the acts of those passions through laughter, etc. Rarely someone is found having feeble passion, but this happens to only a few jivas, hence its predominance is not there. In Vednya karma, there is chiefly the rise of asata, due to which disease, anguish, hunger, thirst, piercing, severing, carrying too much load, cold, heat, maiming, etc., conditions are caused. Because of that, they are clearly seen afflicted, therefore, much is not described here. Rarely someone meets with the rise of somewhat sata, also, but it is limited to a few jivas only. It is not predominant. Sata also, sorry, and the Ayu lifetime is found from 1 Antarmurat, less than 48 minutes, up to crores of years. There, most of the jivas possess only a very short span of life, and hence they suffer from the pangs of birth and death. And the jivas of enjoyment land, Bhogabhumi, have a greater span of life, and they have the rise of sata, karma, causing pleasure, also, but those jivas are limited in number. Moreover, mostly there is found the rise of Tiryanch Gati, etc. In auspicious pap prakritis of Nam karma, rarely someone meets with the rise of few auspicious punya prakritis also, but it is found in lesser measure to some jivas, it is not predominant. And in Gotra karma only, the rise of low status determining karma is found. So they are suffering from lowness. Thus, there is extreme misery in Tiryanch Gati, animals.
So you could see all the sufferings, and this was very well explained in Chedala also. So I'm not expanding so much. I'll be sharing the chart on Paryapt and Aparyapt. You can have a look. One thing that I want to highlight is on page number 92, second line, and many big-sized Paryapt beings are spontaneously born beings. Now, what is this spontaneously born beings? Can anyone know?
So
Samur,
Murshan, Samurchan Jeev.
Samurchan Jeev. So they don't need male and female combination to get birth. They are spontaneously born beings. They could be born at any place without the help of male and female. So they are spontaneously born beings. So from one sense to four sensed, as a rule, they are all Samurchan Jeev, spontaneously born beings. There is no garbage, uterus birth. Okay, all these are spontaneous being. So you see, like you may be staying in a 30th floor apartment, and on the 30th floor you keep some food outside, and the three sensed and two sensed beings will come automatically, because they are born there only. It is not that they have traveled from ground floor to 30th floor. No, they immediately born in the atmosphere, and they come, and because of they have got a smell, so they could smell things, and they get born there. So it is the karmic bondage that they have done in the past, so they are getting this kind of life. Okay, so one sense to four sensed are compulsorily spontaneously born beings. Then in the five sensed, there could be spontaneously born beings also, and there could be uterus birth also. But that is again in the animals only, right? Five sensed. And the five sensed being with mind, they are also spontaneously born beings also, and uterus birth also. Okay. So these are some of the things that I needed to mention. Otherwise, everything is you must have understood. If there is any question, you can ask later on also when you revise it. Now we will move on to the last, the third one. Yeah.
So have do we ever see these big sized Parya beans? How do we know? I mean, are these mushrooms or something?
No, like these are all with mind. So they are quite big. All this discussed here, they are with mind. So dog, cat, frog, all these are five senses being with mind. Pigeon.
No, these spontaneously born beings I'm asking
Okay,
about.
no. These are not seen. These are not seen by eyes. But yeah, so that I said about Raghav much, big fish in the Samudra, they are also spontaneous born beings. So some of them you could see. So they are spontaneously born beings. As I said, in the five sensed, there are spontaneously born also, and some are very big, like the big fish that I told you about. They get into fifth stage also. So those getting into the fifth stage would be with mind, not without mind. Okay. So spontaneously born beings, you can see also. I'll try to get the details. This fish, I am already sure about it. And that I also came to know day before yesterday only. I was talking to a student, ex-student of mine. She is an expert in this field. So I just checked with him about this paryapt and aparyapt. So then she was explaining that there are some spontaneous beings which are so big, like Raghav Mach, who is in the Lavan Samudra, so big body, how many yojans, very big figure, and they are into the fifth stage of spiritual development. So there could be like that also. So, this paryaptis, once you understand, so they start the development, all the six paryaptis start same time, but they finish gradually. Okay, so first the body will form, and then this senses would come, and then like that. So many die before getting full development, and then very few survive for full development. Okay, so that chart I'm going to share from Gomatsar Jeevkand. You can refer that chart and understand. Okay, but we will be doing it in detail when you get into the 10th sem. Okay. Anything
Sir, I
else?
have a question.
Yeah.
Sir, Raghav Mach you were saying, and the Mahamach
Yeah,
that is
Mahamach.
present in Samudra, is
Right.
it the same?
Yeah, it is a spontaneously born being, and that I came to know, as I said, day before yesterday only.
Okay. Okay,
Because
sir.
in some species, there is no uterus birth, right? So there, these spontaneous born beings are there. Okay, anyone else? So little bit of botany also, and I will be sharing the chart, and you will be able to understand.
I have a doubt, sir.
Yeah.
We see some people, they don't get angry very easily. I mean, they are very sober by nature and they don't get wild, they don't get angry. Is it that they are not binding Anantanumandi growth?
No, it could be. As I said, ki Anantanubandhi and all are parameters considering the right belief, partial woe, complete woe, So these are the passions which are stopping the Anantabandhu stops the right belief, Apratyakan stops the partial woe, Pratyakan stops the complete woe, and Sanjolan stops the Yathakyat Charitra, perfect conduct. Okay, so these differences are there. So intense and mild, these parameters could be measured through lesias, and these passions, like Ramchandraji was a right believer, but still he was carrying Lakshman's dead body for 6 months. So this could be only understood if you understand lesia and passions. Okay. So lesia is the parameter by which you measure the degree of intensity of the passions, toxic emotions. Okay. And the Anantanubandhi Kashais are the levels which prevent right belief, then partial woe, then complete woe, and then perfect conduct.
Does it mean that he doesn't have Anantanumandi growth?
So if the right belief is not there, it is always Anantanubandhi growth.
Okay.
The Dravyalingi Muni who goes to Navi Grevak, ninth Grevak, okay, they are so, passions are so mild, even if they are injured and if you put salt in them, they will not manifest anger.
Okay.
They are not having right belief.
Oh, okay.
So that not. The first thing is that you have to manifest the right belief, and with right belief, the Anantanubandhi Kashai goes, which is a big chunk of passion. Whatever left is very little, and it has got no strength.
Sir, I have a question. Is Lesha and Bhav somewhere the same?
Yeah, so leshas are the bhav only, passions.
So,
Except
so the
only thing
degree.
is that with lesha you can measure the intensity of the passions, and whereas the four quadruplet of passions are a parameter which shows that right belief is there or not, partial woe is there or not, complete woe is there or not, and the perfect conduct is there or not.
Yes, sir. So the degree of Lesha also counts in our taking the transmigration somewhere.
No, it is the, like, of course, with every activity that you do, there are bondage of karmas happening. So,
Yes.
if you are engaging in auspicious activities, you will have a good bondage of karma, auspicious bondage of karma. And if you are indulging in violence and unlawful activities, you will bind inauspicious karma. So your mind, speech, and body, where it is engaging, that depends on the auspicious or inauspicious bondage.
Yes.
Okay. So now miseries of human state of existence. Okay. And Hemali, you will be able to read, or you don't want to read? Comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Then you read human state of existence.
Miseries of human state of existence. In the human state of existence, innumerable jivas are labdhi aparyapta, which is undeveloped souls. Those all are samocharans, sharmas, spontaneously generated. Their span of life, age, is just 1/18th part of the time of one respiration. Thank you. And many of the jeeves, after coming into mother's womb, die in a very short period. Their potentiality does not get manifested. Their miseries are to be known similar to those of one-sensed beings, and other specialities are also found which are to be known accordingly. The beings of uterine birth are born after living for some period in the womb. Their miseries have been described earlier from the karmic bondage point of view. All that description is possible for human beings of uterine birth, or it should be known similar to that of the Therians as described earlier. The special point is that here in human beings some particular power is found. The kings, etc., have more rise of Sata karma, and Kshatriya militants have the rise of high family status determining karmas also, and the association of wealth, relatives, kith and kin, etc., is found particularly. Or the distresses of womb state, etc., are known clearly. As a worm is generated in feces, similarly, this jeev is born in the womb, forming his body out of the union of sperm and ovum. There, the growth of knowledge, etc., and of body takes place gradually. The pain of staying in womb is extreme. There, one completes the period in the contracted form and procumbent state with hunger and thirst feeling, etc. When he comes out of the womb, then he suffers some great misery in childhood. Some people say that in childhood misery is less. It is not so. But due to weak power, it is not manifested. Afterwards, the miseries of indulging in business, etc., and satisfying the passional desires, etc., get manifested. The perturbation caused due to agreeable and disagreeable feeling continues, persisting, and in old age he becomes languid, and then he becomes extremely unhappy. These miseries are evidently seen happening. What more should be stated? One who does not recognize the evidently happening miseries of human life, how would he like to listen to their description? Someone by chance meets with the rise of somewhat sata, auspicious prakriti, that too is full of perturbance, and the ranks of personages of tirthankars, etc., are not attained without attaining the path of liberation. Thus, in human life, miseries alone exist. In human life, if someone desires to make effort for self-benefaction, then he can do so. For example, the root and the top insipid portions of worm-eating sugarcane are not at all worth sucking, and the middle pieces, being worm-eaten, are also not worth sucking. If someone greedy of taste spoils them, he is free to do so. But if those are sown, then many sugar canes will be produced out of them, and their taste will also be sweet. Similarly, the childhood and old age of human life are not worth enjoying, and the middle age is full of diseases and distresses. Happiness cannot be there. If someone greedy of carnal pleasure spoils it, he is free to do so. But if he is used it, but if it is used in the observance of religious conduct, then he will attain a very high spiritual status. There, high degree of imperturbable happiness is found. Hence, here, in this human birth, one should make the effort for self-benefaction and should not lose it in vain under the delusion of happiness.
So you see, even in the human state of existence, innumerable jivas are labdhi aparyapt, undeveloped souls. Those are all samurchans. Okay. So like in a woman's armpit and the private parts, there are this samuchar gene uh, uh, getting birth all the time, So those are there, and there are some other places also where these samurchan genes are there. Okay. So those all, their lifespan is 1/18th part of one perspiration. And many of the jivas are coming into mother's womb die. Okay. So before getting birth also they die. And these are all we have also understood in Chaidala. So these are all the similar kind of explanation. So I'm not repeating, you have just read it. If you have any questions, you can ask. And then the last paragraph that I want to highlight, if human life, again, rarity of a human life, it is being shown by here by Pandit Todarmalji by giving an example of sugarcane, So insipid portion of a worm eaten sugarcane, rotten sugarcane, okay? And is insipid portion means tasteless, tasteless. So those are not worth sucking. So if some greedy of taste spoils it, then he is free to do so. But the same sugarcane, that rotten sugarcane, their joints are quite okay. So if they are sown, then many sugarcanes will be produced out of them. Anyway, you are not going to enjoy that taste, right? So you're not eating. But if that has been sown, then many sugarcanes will be produced out of them, and their taste will also be very sweet. Similarly, the childhood and the old age of human life are not worth enjoying, and the middle age is full of disease and distress. Okay, happiness cannot be there. So these are all the limitations that are being discussed from the perspective of a mundane existent who is not enlightened. Okay, if someone greedy of carnal pleasure spoils it, like getting into sensual pleasures, then he is free to do so. But if it is used in the observance of religious conduct, if it is used in understanding how to manifest the right belief, then he will attain a very high spiritual status. What is this high spiritual status? Getting liberated. Okay. Getting liberated means getting a very high spiritual status. There is no high spiritual status than a liberated soul. Okay. Their high degree of imperturbable happiness is found. Okay. Hence, here in this one, but one should not make effort for self-benefaction and should not lose it in vain under the delusion of happiness. So this is what we conclude here. Now, miseries of celestial beings. Okay. Rekha, you are there?
Sir,
Yeah, you read.
miseries of celestial beings. In the celestial state of existence, the power of knowledge, etc., is somewhat more than the others. They have false belief about the tattvas due to perverse faith. The passions are somewhat feeble. The passions of the residential Bhavanvasi, the peripatetic Vyanvantar, Vyantar, and the stellar Jyotishka order of celestial beings are very feeble, and their pure active consciousness is very fickle. They possess some powers also. So they indulge in the acts of passions, keep engrossed in the frolic, frolicsome acts and carnal pleasures, and due to that restlessness, they are only unhappy. And heavenly gods of higher and higher orders have decreasingly less passions, and the power is increasingly more. Hence, due to the decrease in restlessness, anguish also decreases. Here is the celestial being wherein the pride passions are found, but the motivating cause is less. So the act of those passions are not predominant. The lower class of deva celestial beings are found indulging in causing harm and humiliating others due to frolicsome, etc. But this type of behavior is found lesser measure in the higher class of devas, Vaimanikas. It is not predominant. It is not predominant, and the cause of deceit and greed passions are found there. That is why the act of those passions are predominant. As such, the act of deceiving, desiring the objects of sensual pleasures, etc., are chiefly found in them. These acts too are found in lesser measure in higher and higher devas. Further, the motivating causes of laughter, liking, quasi passions, are found in greater measures. Hence, the act of these passions are predominant, and the causes of disliking sorrow, fear, disgust, quasi passions are less. Hence, the acts of these passions are not predominant. And the rise of female sex passion and male sex passion are also found, and the cause of dalliance is also present. So they enjoy copulation. These passions too are feeble in higher and higher devas. The sexual desire is absent in the Ahamindras, self gods, due to feebleness of sex passion. In this way, the celestial beings too have passions, and anguish is caused by the passions only. And as the degree of passions in devas is of lesser measure, accordingly the degree of misery is also less. That is why they are said to be happy in comparison to others. In spiritual sense, the passions are alive, hence they are only unhappy. In Vedaniya karma, the rise of Sata Vedaniya is more. There also is less in the three residential, peripatetic, and stellar classes of devas, and is found in increasingly greater measures in higher and higher Vimanic heavenly worlds. The association of favorite state of body, goddesses, wives, palaces, etc., is found there, and rarely due to some reason somewhat rise of Asata Vedna is also found. It is found somewhat manifested also in the lower class of devas, but it is not found manifested more apparently in the higher class of devas. And Ayu, lifetime is very long. The minimum lifetime is 10,000 years and maximum is 31 sagas. Without attaining the right path of liberation, no one can have more Ayu lifetime than this. So for such a long period, the devas, remain engrossed in the carnal pleasure. And the rise of all punya auspicious prakritis of Nama Karma life, Devgati, etc., is found there. Etc., is found there. Hence are the causes of happiness. And in Gotra Karma, there exists the rise of Ucha Gotra only. Hence, they hold respectable positions. Thus, owing the specialty of rise of Punya Karma, they possess the association of agreeable things, and due to right of passions, the carnal desires are formed. Therefore, they are found engrossed in enjoying them, but the desire is excessively moved. Therefore, they do not become happy. The higher class of devas possess the rise of highest degree of punya, and the passion is extremely feeble. Nevertheless, the absence of desire is found in them also. Therefore, in spiritual sense, they are assuredly unhappy. In this way, everywhere in the world, only miseries and miseries are found. Here ends the description of miseries from the modification, Pariyaya's point of view.
So all the states, all the 4 states of existence who are 5-sensed being, their conditions have been explained from the parameters of Jnanavaran, Dasnavaran, and other 8 karmas. Okay. So all this was quite understandable, and we have also read it in Chedala, so I'm not going very deep into it. But there was one word, frolicsome acts, kotuhulta. So in those lower categories of celestial beings, this kind of kotuhulta playfulness is there. Okay. And so they are doing into acting, they are acting in such a manner. Okay. So that word I needed to explain you. Then what else is there? Again, 8 karmas are there, and here also I think Antarai karma is not there. Okay. So again here Antarai karma is again missing. Then they have given Vedniya karma, Ayu, Nam, and Gotra. All are there. So you can mark it down, and These are the conditions. When the rise of karmas are there, they undergo this kind of conditions. Among the celestial beings, the Vaimanik Dev, and those particular that was discussed, Amindra. So they are those who become monk in this human life, and that also true monks. They end up getting birth in Vaimanik Dev. There is no sex passion over there, and all the time they are right believer, and they all the time they are discussing this qualities of the soul, and their eyes is also their lifespan is also very big, 33 sagar, and they keep on discussing one attribute after the other attribute, and their life comes to an end, but the discussion goes on. That kind of number of attributes we possess. Every soul possesses that number of attributes. That discussion, these Amindras and all, they do there for 33 sagars, and they keep on discussing, but still the number of attributes is still pending, and their age comes to an end. So these are in celestial being also, but they cannot go beyond fourth stage of spiritual development. Okay, there is no, they cannot get into partial woe. Okay, so that is only possible in human life. In this human life, if you are a male, you can become a monk also, true monk. Okay, and if you are a female, you can become an arjika also, who is in the fifth stage of spiritual development. So this is maximum what we can achieve here in human life, and then the journey will continue in the next birth also, and soon we'll all get liberated. Okay, so the discussion is over from the point of view of modification, paryayapeksha. Now the general characteristics of miseries. So we have still 12-13 minutes left. So there are 4 kinds of desires that we need to discuss here. The first desire is, I'm just explaining you in 12 minutes. And then, of course, we will read in the next class. Okay, in the beginning, we will read. And if you have any questions, we'll discuss. This topic particular is very important. So I would urge you to read it thrice before coming to the class next time, because many of our problems will be solved from here. Okay. So the chief cause of our miseries is this desire. And because of desire, the perturbedness is there. And perturbedness is a characteristics of suffering, sorrow, misery. Okay. So this is how we suffer. So the expectation and the desire are the chief cause of all our miseries. Now these desires have been divided into 4 categories. The first category you can see out of 4 kinds of desire. Okay. The first category of desire is sensual pleasures. Okay. Sensual pleasures. So every soul has this sensual pleasure in it, and because of that he wants to enjoy the 5 senses. Okay, through 5 senses. Okay, but real happiness is not there. So once his desire is fulfilled of one sense, then he gets a desire of another sense. When that is fulfilled, then he wants to have something else. So it keeps on changing. The senses keep on changing, but the desire is never satisfied. Okay, so this is the first kind of desire. The second is to get things according to one's passional emotions. Okay, so the second type of desire is of acting according to one's passional emotions, due to which one wants to indulge in actions like that of harming others. So when there is a rise of anger passion, you want to harm others. When there is a rise of pride passion, you want to humiliate others. When there is a rise of deceit passion, you want to cheat others. When there is a rise of greed passions, you want to acquire things. Okay, so these kind of desires are there due to passions. Okay, here no other pain is there, but so long as that work is not completed, he remains highly perturbed. This type of desire is called passional desire. The third is the to get rid of the fruition of pap karma. Okay. So that is the third kind of desire. Okay. To remove the fruition of the rise of pap karmas. Okay. So you don't want those kind of associations that are associated with pap karmas, which are going to trouble you. And the fourth desire is desire for auspicious rise of auspicious karma. So these three type of desire, each desire is of many categories. Okay. And all these three type of desire can be fulfilled if you have rise of auspicious karma. So, okay. So rise of auspicious karma is the fourth kind of desire. Now these four desires are there, and one thing that I also already mentioned in the first class itself about the desire. Now, what are the limitations of this desire? So there are 3 points that we are going to discuss under this, out of which 2 are already discussed and the third one will be coming here. So the first point is, one desire is to get so to enjoy the sensual pleasures. Okay. So one desire is fulfilled, another desire crops up. Okay. So another is fulfilled, the third one crops up. So for not a single moment, you are devoid of desire. Okay. Some kind of desire is always there. So there is no way that you can fulfill all the desires at once. That is impossible. The second point is, the pit of desire is so big. It's given on page number 78. Just in this chapter only, page number 78, if you could see, it's taken from which? Atmanusashan. Yeah. Atmanusashan, this verse is taken, that pit of desires exist each and every being. The beings are infinite times and infinite in number. All of them are found having desires, and the magnitude of that well of desire is such. Hey, 1 minute. Who is everyone should be on mute. Okay. So I don't get the background noises. Okay. So the magnitude of that well of desires is such that in that single pit, the whole universe appears to be just like an atom. So if you collect all the material available in the universe, it is still just like an atom. And the pit of desire is so enormous, and there if that one atom is divided among all the living beings who are having desires, how much one will get? So the conclusion is that the desires can never be fulfilled of any human being, or for that matter, any living being. Okay. So that was the conclusion. And the third point is taken from Samaisar. Here only one line is mentioned here, but in Samaisar's verse number 216, this analogy has been explained very well, that when the desire is there, the object is not there. And when you get the object, the desire has gone. So there is a mismatch of time. Okay. The rise of desire and physically getting that object. I'll give you an example. Supposing you want to buy a mobile phone, right? Now there is an independence discount is going on in all the online platforms, So you want to buy something, a good mobile on Amazon. So you are so excited, you want to buy a new mobile, and that also Apple. And so you are looking at the features and deciding which one to buy. And ultimately you close out on a single model that I want to buy this, and you make the payment because you are so excited. But the delivery will come after 2-3 days. Okay. Now, after 2-3 days, when the delivery comes, you just pick up and keep it at one place. When you were ordering, there was so much of excitement, and you wanted to get it done today itself, because otherwise you will lose out on discount and all. So you put in so much of effort to select the which model and what brand and whatever you have done, exercise, the whole exercise. Now, you have already booked the mobile and delivery is going to come after 2 days, and when the delivery comes, you are not excited to receive it. Why? Because that desire has gone. Now you are preoccupied with some other important work. So you might pick up the mobile and keep it inside. And maybe for next 2 days, you may not open it also. Why? Because that desire has gone. Now some other desire has cropped up and you are working on that desire now to finish that, fulfill that desire. So getting of rising of desire and getting it fulfilled, when you receive the object, there is a time gap, always time gap. So the enlightened soul never desires anything, because thing doesn't happen according to our desire. Now consider the third desire. There is a disease in your body and you want to get rid of it. Okay, and you do efforts also, you consult doctors, you take medicines and all. But so long the pap karma is there, the rise of asata is there, you will not get good. You will not heal, right? So that desire to heal is always there, right? And the moment you get better with the rise of sata karma, with the rise of the fourth desire, punya karma, okay, when there is a rise of auspicious karma, you get healed, okay, and now you are okay. So then there is another desire, right? So this vicious circle of one desire getting fulfilled, another desire cropping up, and another getting fulfilled, the third one cropping up. So it goes on. So all these three reasons shows us that desires can never be fulfilled. Okay. And the last one that I explained, that object and the desire, there is a time mismatch. Okay. Time gap is there. So the enlightened ones never desire for anything, because they know that there is no point in desiring, because without the rise of auspicious karma, your desires will not be fulfilled. Okay. And if there is a rise of auspicious karma, even not desiring, you will get good things in life. We have seen many people who are very satisfied in themselves and they get all the good things in life without asking. And there are so many people who are always out after their desires and expectations, and still their expectations are not filled up. Why? Because there is a rise of inauspicious karma. So in the outside world, it is the auspicious and inauspicious karma that plays a big role. Okay. And unnecessarily, by creating desires, by creating greed, you are suffering. Okay. So how to get rid of these desires? Any answer? How to get rid of these desires? One option is fulfilling. The second option is that first option was fulfilling, and the second option is what would be the second? Tell me.
So taking this thing in your soul. Some taking
Taking
shelter in
shelter
your
in
soul.
your soul. Taking shelter in your soul.
shelter.
So taking shelter in your soul, then what will happen? What will happen?
The right belief, and so you won't have any desires.
So right belief will manifest. When you take shelter
Yeah.
in your soul, when you realize yourself, when you experience yourself, the right belief manifests, right? So along with right belief, the first quadruplet of passion is also going. So the desires of the first level has gone, right? It is not that the complete desire goes away. The first level, to the extent you have manifested passionlessness, to that extent, the desire doesn't crop up. Okay. But to the extent the passions are still there, the other three levels, to that extent, desire is there, right? But as I said, that desire is very little in compared to the first level of desires, right? So the first level of desires has gone, which was causing infinite worldly existence. That has gone. Okay. So the way to fulfill desire is not a remedy, because one desire fulfilled, you get another fulfilled, you get another. So your desires never get fulfilled because the pit of desire is so big and all the material that are available in the universe is just one single atom in those pit of desire. So it never gets fulfilled, right? And the third option, when you desire, the object is not there, and the object is there, the desire has gone. So all these arguments and discussion leads us to the conclusion that you manifest right belief, be satisfied in yourself, be content in yourself. There is a contentment available over there. You will be content and the desires will not crop up. And that is the way to conquer the desires. Okay. So this is the final solution. I have explained you in short the whole 1, 2, 3 pages are there, less than 3 pages. You read it again and again, and probably I might give this as homework for your CC1, okay? Or I will ask questions from in Gandhar Mulyankan or Viva, okay? So you read this at least minimum 3 times, understand it, and the next time we will read again in the class. And while reading, if you have any questions cropping up, we will solve those questions. Or while personally reading also, if you have any question, you are free to ask me. Okay. But this particular conclusion is very, very important because the whole cause of misery is this expectation. No expectation, no passion. Okay. So this is something you have to understand very well, and this is going to solve the chunk of our problems. Okay, 4 kinds of desire. Desire of sensual pleasure, desire of passions, desire of inauspicious, and desire of auspicious. Okay, so Vishay, Kashai, Pap, Punya. These are the 4 kinds of desire in short, and the limitations of these desires and why it cannot be fulfilled, and it can, what is the way out. All this has been explained very nicely here. You just read it again and again, and next class we will discuss again and then move on to the next part. Okay.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Just in case we try to curtail our desires,
Right.
what effect will it have on our nature? Will
How
we
you
become?
curtail your desire? You tell me how you will curtail your desire.
अभी जरूरत नहीं है. Let's try if we can do without it.
So that again is a that is not fulfilling of desire, right?
Right.
It is thinking that you have lost priority to this, so there is some other desire that has cropped up.
Suppose we try to curtail our desires. That's what I want to try.
So that desire you may curtail with your past experience, with your conclusion, with your analysis. But at the same time, another desire has cropped up. There is not a single moment that a human being is without desire.
The cropping up of the desire that I don't want it. This is one desire.
So the one desire you have got rid because of your analysis that I don't want it, right?
Right.
So supposing you are now on the deathbed, okay? Now at that point of time, the gold is also not attracting you. The associations are not so attracting you. You are in the deathbed, okay? So at that point of time, what desire you have? You still have some desire. You have desire to get better. You have desire to get engrossed in yourself, right? Some sort of desire will always be there. Okay. So the root cause of all desire is ignorance. So first you have to get rid of delusion. So once you get rid of delusion, the first level of desire goes away. And to that extent, the happiness is also manifested. Okay. So from 4th stage to 12th stage, there is a mixture. There is some happiness and there is some unhappiness. To the extent happiness is there, the desire is not there. And to the extent the attachment is there, the desires are there. Okay. Gradually it will go on. The desires will gradually getting reduced, and the time will come when all the desires will go away, when you manifest complete passionlessness. So that's how it will go. It will begin with right belief. Without right belief, only you are changing desires, but it is not fulfilling. It is
Right.
getting to an end.
तो मतलब समता भाव आना होगा along with the
नहीं, अब तो आत्मा का आश्रय करो.
ashra. हाँ, that is there, but वही कि
It is only
yes,
there. Else
yeah,
you don't have any efforts.
any other efforts.
Right? So
Right.
आपको कैसे भी करके
हाँ,
आत्मा का आश्रय, taking
आश्रय
shelter of the
लेना.
soul. What does it mean? I
वही
all
right.
believe. I am
हाँ,
soul.
right belief. Right. Yes.
You try that. I am the soul. In all situations, you consider you all to be a soul. And when you are a soul, you are only a knower and seer and not doer. Okay?
जी,
This
जी,
much
जी,
analysis you do in any situation and you
जी,
will be in a happy space. This is
right,
the right effort. Okay?
right. Everything ends up to that point only.
Yes.
Right.
All the scriptures, whatever we read in 5 years, there
Yeah.
should be only one purpose, that you
Right.
take shelter in your soul, and you take shelter in your soul means that you believe you are soul.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
so right belief is the first thing that we need to manifest.
Right. It still has to get instilled. Although
Yeah,
we
actually,
are reading it every day and
so
every
once you are into the process, it is going to happen,
right,
because
right.
that delusion is getting
Reduced.
reduced
Yeah.
gradually. That big
Right.
rope, you are cutting that big rope. So gradually
Mm.
it is getting cut. Right?
Right.
So
Yes.
same process is going on. Every
So
time
Right.
you
even in human,
money, that delusion is getting reduced.
Right. Yes.
so even in human life, as we age, as we grow
Yeah.
old, this
Right.
automatically happens. The things which used to give us happiness earlier, अब नहीं
Right.
देते हैं वो सब.
Right.
जी.
So
Yeah.
then you have some desires at that point of time. If you are ignorant, you have some desires coming up. So the permanent solution would be to get into right belief.
Mm.
Right? So
Right.
when you are a suppose teenager, your passions, your desires are of different type. So when you get married, your desires are of different type. When you get old age, the desires are of different type. But never a point comes when you are free of desires. It is only that one set of desire has gone and another set of desire has come.
Some. Right.
So getting rid of desire is the only solution, and that solution will come with right belief. There is no other remedy.
Right. Hope in 5 years we come to that solution somewhere.
No, it takes only a moment. It takes only a moment. You have to
That's
believe that
true.
you are a soul. Even if
But
you
we have
don't believe, that you are a soul, you are still a soul.
yeah.
The nature never changes. Even we have been in hell, we have been in one sensed being, still we remained a soul. Not a single attribute has been reduced. It's all completely, we are totally secured, right? When we never knew that we are a soul, we are totally secured. And now we know that we are a soul. So what harm is going to come? Nothing. So we are going to enjoy our life to the fullest, and we are going to get liberated in this manner only. दुखी होना ही नहीं है, right? अपने को जानो, अपने को पहचानो और आनंद करो. Right?
Right.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
So
Ali.
I had a question.
Yes.
So Malti ji just now said that as we grow old, our desires reduce.
Right.
So in one class we had learned that when we attain 2/3 of our Ayu Karma, we so is it about
There's a chance of bondage of new karma. That is what you want to say? 2/3 of.
no. Sir, I wanted to ask you that when 2/3 of our Ayu Karma is achieved, then our next life is decided, next
Right.
birth.
So that is the first chance. That is the first chance. It is not compulsory that it will happen that time. Okay. So those things coming up, and if nothing comes, then the last 48 minutes you bind the next karma.
Yes. So, sir, does this reduction of desire have to do with age, or does it have to do with the totality of the Ayu Karma and the progression in life?
It has only do with right belief. There is no other connection of desire. Okay.
Okay.
These are all temporary phenomena. It's not permanent. One crop of desire has gone, so another has come up. as Maltiji said, that as we age, the sensual pleasures are no more, we are feeling attractive, right? But at that point of time, you have some other desire.
Only to remain healthy.
My son
Nothing.
should get married. Now, your son has got married. So the kid should come. Now the kid has come. So you want to instill sanskar in that kid. So your desires are endless. Nobody in the family would take a kid to the mandir, but only the grandmothers and grandfathers take them to the mandir because they know that this is beneficial to us. But the parents doesn't feel so. The parents want to send them to judo karate and the grandparents want to send them to pathshala. So all these desires are always there at every stage of life. Unless and until you manifest right belief, the desire does not stop. So solution only we have that you have to manifest right belief. Yes, Amitaji. You were asking any question?
I was trying to say, yes, the type of desire changes.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So is that why we do Samait? Because that is the time when desires don't arise?
So again, if you have not manifested right belief, your Samaik is just another activity. But if you have the right belief and then you do Samaik, then it is very fruitful. Because after right belief, you don't have any desire just to engross in yourself. So at that point of time, Samaik is the best tool for you.
But at that time, sir, what happens? Everyone takes to mala, to reading the scripture. Of course, it's good, but they do mala and all that. But actually, it should be meditation.
So long the ignorance would be there, these things will happen.
Right.
So when we do
That's
a puja also, we
Exactly.
are contemplating on the attributes of the Paramatma. So वो भी तो एक अच्छी बात होती है sir.
Yes. These are there. This has got its place in according to Charnan Yoga. These are all essential things that a householder undergoes through, right? But
it's to keep us away from other things.
But the religion does not start. That is what I mean to say, right? Your getting rid of desire does not happen. It will only happen when you manifest right belief. So even if you are doing puja, even if you are doing samaik, even if you are doing fasting, the purpose should be to manifest right belief. Why you are doing puja? Because I feel so much that these Panch Parmeshtis, they have manifested right belief and they have got liberated, and I want to walk in their footsteps. So automatically I idealize them, right?
Yes.
So a budding cricketer wants to become a cricketer. He idolizes Virat Kohli. He likes everything what Virat Kohli does. So similarly, we want to get liberated. So we always go to the temple and pray the Panch Parmeshtis. Because at our level, they are our idols. They have walked on this path and they have got liberated. And we also want to go get liberated. So we are just adoring them. We want everything what they have done. We also want to do those things. So at that level, as a householder level, we have different things in our life. So going to the temple is an essential activity for a householder because householder has so many other things in mind. So getting to the temple, that reduces your passion, that reminds you your objective in life. When you see the deity of the God, what comes to your mind? That God is knowing the whole loka-lok and still he is engrossed in himself. He is not interested in who is coming to the temple and not coming to the temple. Jinn Pratima is just like a live jinn. Like our temple is like a samosaran. So when you go to a temple, it's like you are going to a samosaran. And when you go to a samosaran, what is the thing that you want from the God? Show me the path of liberation. So God is showing you the path of liberation. You first identify yourself and then you get engrossed in yourself. That is the path of liberation. So everywhere we get motivated. So all these activities, whether you are doing fasting, you are doing samaik, or you are going to the temple, or you are doing the swadhyay, or you are doing the contemplation, all these are instrumental causes which leads to right belief. Okay, so there is nothing that is to be avoided, but you have to understand it in the true sense. And you have to do it in the true manner. That is your responsibility. Okay.
Mm.
Anything else? Time is also over. We have taken 15 minutes more, but the queries
Yes,
are
sir.
satisfied. And
Yes.
while reading again and again, if you have any queries, you can ask me personally also. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार।